My name's Cheri. Welcome to my stamp studio. So you may have seen the video that goes prior to this where I gave you some tips and tricks for ink spots, and I told you I was going to do a card with the In the Pines. So I'm going to be using a stamp set and some ribbons and a folder, a whole lot of things from the upcoming August to December mini catalog, and then I'm going to go back to the annual catalog with a couple of things that I haven't even used yet. So we're going to be doing a little jumping back and forth right now between catalogs. But for right now and for this video, we are focusing on this. I'm going to use a set that can be kind of Christmas, but I'm not doing a Christmas card. But you will want to join me on the week of July 25th, that week leading up to it. That week I will be doing a Christmas in July. So don't be afraid by the cover of the catalog. I'm not doing Christmas. Although I do want you to take note of all of these little trees here that are kind of populating the front of the catalog. That's the set that I'm using today. So it's not a Christmas card that I'm making, but you definitely can use it for Christmas. If you don't have a copy of this and you ordered from me since April, if you ordered from me last week, then you've probably already got your catalog or will be getting it soon because it has already gone in the mail. If you ordered $50 or more from me since April 1st, then those catalogs will mail. They may have already mailed by the time this posts. So before I get started on this, let me show you, because I did my ink spots video with the little ink pad, and then I did the ribbon, and I wanted to show you where we're at with it because it's been maybe not quite an hour, maybe about an hour. So I want to show you, this is Midnight, the In Color Midnight. So this month, if you purchase $50 from me, then you get your choice of ink spots filled in whatever color you want, and 2 yards of my choice of ribbon that's dyed. So here we have Cinnamon. So you can see it's already starting to dye. I'll probably leave it 24 hours. These are whole spools. And you can see this one, if I tilt it this way. Some of these jars I've used for decorating in the past. So you can tell that they've been used for various assorted things, but any glass jar you can use to do this. So you can go back and watch the video that I've already posted on the tips and tricks of doing this. And then I will do a follow-up on whatever video it happens next stage where I take these out. So there's the cinnamon, and you can see the cinnamon is coloring the dots. The mango is going to be beautiful. It's going to be a super bright pink. Okay, with the mango, it looks like it's coloring the dots and not so much the ribbon. It's going to be a little bit lighter, or else it's just that it's coloring the dots so well, it's making the ribbon itself, the tool, not look so dyed. And then the Midnight, it's going to be a pale. Sometimes they don't dye as well as others, and it's kind of hard to see because of the jar that I chose. So I did want to show you that's about what an hour gets you. But I'm going to leave those set for probably 24. So I'm going to use In the Pines. It's a fun bundle. Like I said, it does have a Season's Greetings, which I probably won't use unless it's for tags, because there's some fabulous sayings in this catalog right now. I am going to use the Thinking of You, and I'm going to use one of our banner punches from the annual catalog that I have and have not used yet. So let's do that. And I'm going to use my ink spots that I just filled. And if you place a $150 order with me this month, then you get a free mini trimmer. So I may need it depending on how I go with how I trimmed my stuff. I did the last of the packets for my Try It class. And my guillotine is not in my office. It's down where I was finishing that up. So I have my Stamparatus, and I'll show you how I've set it up. They're photopolymer stamps, as you can see. So I have this, and you can buy it in the catalog. You can just wipe it off later with soap and water or chamois. So I'm just going to use this because it gives just the right amount of height then. So I have my base set here. They don't really matter because we're going to run them through the Big Shot. And then I have a half a sheet of vanilla. And I'm just going to use this to hold this here. So I wanted ink spots because they're easier to work with. So I filled them in moss. You can see in my video, I told you I hadn't done these, that I would write on these if I didn't keep my labels. If I keep the labels, and I show you how I did that in that video, then I use those. So I have moss. I'm going to start with my lightest color and just kind of dab. It doesn't have to be everywhere. My husband's working from home today and he's gone outside to work on the porch and my cat wants to go out. That's the crying that you hear. So let's do the moss. You wanna make sure that your magnet, if you watch me, you know I'm not a fan of the magnets. I feel like they get in the way. But this one is gonna hold my paper down. But these don't have to cover everything because we're gonna use 3 colors. I love to do this for autumn trees with the different colors. And I've had several videos on past sets with that. So now let's go with the jade. And again, I don't want everywhere because I want the colors to kind of mix. So I'm going just for the sides of the trees in the jade. If you do it everywhere, they just get all muddy. So now you can see we've got the shading. This is a super fast way to stamp them. And then we've got spruce, which is our darkest color. And then I write it on the lids and on the bottom because they don't stay together. Yeah, he's desperate to get out with his daddy, and you know, his daddy's not desperate to get him out there because you have to keep an eye on the little thing because he just would like to go explore the neighborhood. And where we live, you're not supposed to let your cats outside at all. We have a privacy fence, so our girl cat stays in all of the time. Our boy cat stays in 98% of the time, but that 2%, then you have to go chase him down, and it's not fun. So we've got our last little bit of spruce. Let me add a little bit to the tops, or maybe not. So you can see it gives you a nice little bit of shading. But I'm gonna add just maybe up here, and maybe just a little bit there. You would think that he's dying. You know, he's so mistreated. He did make an appearance in my video with the ribbon because there was water on the table. And you know, open containers of water must be his. So there we go. Has a little bit of a stripey there, and that's because these are freshly inked, but the tree's gonna cover it up. So I've got this thin this way, and because it's all gonna be the same color, I'm just gonna use my early espresso stamp pad. Just ink those all up. It's not a big deal if I miss anywhere because it's on the stamp apparatus and I can fix it, but this is freshly inked too, so I don't need to press very hard. So there we go. Beautiful, all finished. There's one little tree here that's just an outline. And then this right here, it does have a stamp that you could stamp in it. I'm just gonna take my bronze blend because it's faster. It gives me one nice more little color of. But there is a trunk that you can stamp in it if you want. I'm just gonna add that. And maybe a tiny bit here. So that's all the stamping we need to do. So pull that out. Move this out of the way. It's one of those projects where I have a lot of stuff on the table. So let's do the die cutting. And our die cut machine comes out soon. You want to be watching because I will have a class for that. So I did get some new plates today, and I thought I should pull the new plates out, but you know, it is what it is. So we have these, there's some really fun dies. I should have kept one of them out. One of them does a see-through. I'm not using it on this card at all. These cut them out. So lay those on, make sure everything's lined up so when you get them all on, because I'm gonna do them at once. And here he comes, because he remembers water's on the table. This time it's colored water. What's wrong, buddy? You think you get to go outside? I don't need your help. Yeah, I don't need help. You wanna go outside? Yeah, we can go out in a little bit. And then there's these two trees here that I'm gonna use. There's also like some landscape arches. Get down so they can see what's going on. Get down. Come on. Go. 2 videos in one day. He's gonna be a superstar. So I've just got this on here. It's a half a sheet of vanilla. What, Bubby? He's just so mistreated. And it just takes one roll through. He doesn't like that, so that was enough to make him leave. So you can see these are beautiful. And they're really wispy. So I'm gonna pull both of those out first. Because the first time I made the card, I used them just like that, and they were a little bit flat for me. So let's move all this out of the way. And then we're gonna use this new folder that's fabulous. Look at this, it's pine trees. It goes a funny way, so it'll take a little bit of being different, getting used to. I'm gonna have some of the sky and the tips. So it's a giant folder. So you kind of have to line it up so you get where you want. So I want all the way to the tips of the trees to be in it. And then this line right here, of course, tells you that your paper's in straight. Always send it through with the crease in first so you don't break your folders. So let's put that through. We did it on our unboxing video, my daughter and I, in the gold foil, and it's stunningly beautiful. But it's beautiful in this too. And one of my friends, literally just as I was going to video right before I turned my phone on silent, or airplane mode, she sent me this, and she has painted it with the new water painters, and it's beautiful. So I've got that. And then I had laid those on there, but they were a little bit flat. So I'm gonna take the textured embossing folder and just stick them in here, and that just gives them a little bit of life of their own. So you just don't have flat paper with all of this. There's so much going on this card that it just makes these also have a little bit going on. Okay, the way I chose my colors was because I wanted to use this ribbon, and this is kind of cinnamon, which if I had thought about it, I might have used cinnamon instead of espresso. I'm not sure it would have held its color nicely. But it's out of one of the new fall sets that will be in the catalog. I can't put the links down below when I do these preview videos because there's no live links to link them to, but this is the mint. So that's why I went with mint in this. And then I have mint as the background. And then I made the card and I was like, dang, there's no place to stick this ribbon. So I took it apart and I made it work. So we're gonna take this and grab your scissors because we want this to look rustic, and I wanted the ribbon on there, but I also wanted you to be able to use it for a masculine card if you chose to. So there's always, you don't want to bow when you're doing it for a masculine card. But this is like a basket weave ribbon. So by just laying it flat on there, we're able to get it. So just scuff this all up, which is easy to do with this folder because it really gives it a deep impression. Once upon a time and many moons ago, we had a tool that did this in Stampin' Up! World. So if you still have yours, you can pull it out, but otherwise your scissors work just fine. So just scuff it up. And you can see that I'm being kind of rough with it, and it's okay because now I'm going to take it and I'm going to even scuff it a little bit more. Like I said, I'm going for a rustic, Western, weathered look. So it can have a little bit of weathered to it. So you can see how pretty that is. And you can imagine it watercolored as Heather had done hers. I'm not sure, I think maybe she used it on watercolor paper. She sent me the text and I was literally putting my phone into my phone holder. So I sent her a quick picture of my card and I said, look what I've just done. Because she said, look what I did. I said, look what I did. Great minds. So I'm gonna put it on here. And I'm going to use my Seal Plus because I want to be able to work with it a little bit more. Doesn't need a lot of the plus because it holds it really strong. And it doesn't matter that it's super straight because again, we're gonna take this and we're gonna crinkle this up. And if you crinkle this one really well, then you can get it to separate. Got dust on my nails from the paper. paper dust. So when you mess with it, I'll come back to it. But you want both sides to look like they've been through the weather. It gives it a nice little Western mountain feel. So you can see after I'm done with this, like this is going to be a card that you could easily give to somebody now for their birthday, a sympathy card, anything like that. But switch the colors up, add a star, some twinkling, a little bit of red ribbon, and it easily goes to a Christmas card. So I've got this all crunched up. This one's starting to separate. I don't want all of them to, just a couple of the corners. But when they separate like that, then just pull one. And that also helps with that weathered look. See that pretty? All 4 of them did on my other card, and I didn't want all 4 of them to. I didn't want it to look like it was trashed. But this one, because I'm trying, it's like when you want kids and animals to perform, they just don't do it for you. Let me see if I can get this one. I think it's going to. There we go. So now we just have a little, that has a little bit of weather worn look. So I'm going to take a little piece of this ribbon. I'm going to go ahead and give it a little shape because I'm not going to tie it, like I said. I'm going to use my Steel Plus again because this will hold the ribbon in place. And just lay it here. I don't want it to be super straight because a weathered card, but I do want to be able to wrap it around. So you don't need a lot, just enough that you'll be able to wrap it. Just add a little bit more of that Steel Plus, which will hold it fabulously, just like that. We can go ahead and stick this on here. You can see how pretty this is already looking without even any of our trees. And then right here where I know that ribbon's going to be, I'm going to stick a little bit more. So now we have this. Let's go ahead and get our saying. And here's where the new little banner punch comes in. You can see it cuts in 3 sizes. I haven't even used it. How bad is that? I have a whole bunch of stuff from the new annual catalog that I still haven't used. This set has a thinking of you. It has the season's greetings and it has the thinking of you. Actually, I'm going to punch it first and then I'll stamp it. So I find it still works better to use it upside down, but you slip it in first. To see, it has the guide I've got on the smallest setting. So just slide it in there. And then you can still see that you've slidden it in straight. It may have moved because, you know, camera. Oh, it's not bad. So then it has that nice little notch on it. Now I'll go back and stamp. Hope I get it straight because my head's not over it. There we go. But by doing this first, and since it's photopolymer, then I can easily line up where I want it to be. Now let's just trim that off. And then I'm not going to stick this on until I have all of my trees because I may need to put it over the top of a tree. So let's get all these pieces out. So I put it through the folder in hopes that it would knock some of the last little things up, but it didn't. There we go. Did knock all those out. Oh, that 1, 2. So we have those 2, and then we have all our stamped ones. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. So you can arrange them however you want. I ended up on this one, I think I'm going to put the tree over here because of the way I did the ribbon. I added that, like I said, after. There's one more in there. So let's do this a little bit different than I did my other one. I always like to switch it up. So let's do this one kind of high. Play with it before you stick them on. Let's do this one over here. And if you can see they leave a little bit of extra. That's why I have the vanilla on vanilla, because as soon as you put it on there, you kind of lose the fact that it may have overcut, and then you can also hide it. Do these down here. And this one over here. So we have a whole totally different arrangement than I have my other one. So we can see which one we like better. And then you literally just stick them on. I'm gonna switch to my seal though, because that way if I don't like something, I'm not committed. This one's going to be committed. So with a couple of them, you want them to go almost as high as they can go. Make sure you fill up all that card space. This one I'm gonna make sure you get a little bit of the ribbon under. And over here, I'll do my saying last. And just kind of remember which ones you had on the bottom. And do this one a little lower. Tape on my hands. Doesn't take very much to hold them, so you just need a tiny little piece. And you don't want any of your trees exactly the same height, so make sure as you go that none of them are exactly the same. And you also want to make sure that none of your stems are dangling up in the air. So you can see here I've got all of them squished under something. And if they're going to dangle, then you might want to take something later and kind of seal those down. So I might go back and just add a tiny bit of glue. And then on this one, I'm just going to get my dimensionals. You'll need the baby ones. And just stick that on there. So then I was pleased that I was able to get my ribbon on there after I designed the whole card around those colors, but without it looking too feminine or like detracting from the card. It adds something to the card. Here's a little bit different of a forest arrangement, and it kind of all depends on how your folder goes through, how your ribbon is, how your paper is all crinkled, kind of just where your trees will land best on your card. But I hope you enjoy that. If you want to see close-up pictures, and if you want to see how I did the ribbon and how you fill the ink spots, and if you want to see my monthly specials, head over to my website and all the links will be there. You can find the link to my website down under this video if you're on YouTube. If you're on Facebook, then my things are all over the place. So everybody have a great day. Bye.